All right, hello race fans, welcome to the greatest state in the union, the Constitution State. We're just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road from Cav-OK Racing Network's international broadcast studios. You will find Lakeville, Connecticut, and Lime Rock Park. We are ready to kick off the fourth season of the Sunday Night Skippy Racing League on a track. It's not very technical, but it is very fast, very racy, will demand the driver's attention every single second of this 40-minute race, and will no doubt leave plenty of drivers feeling frustrated and heartbroken as they attempt to limp their broken Skip Barber Formula 2000s back to pit road. No margin for error, nowhere to run. As always, we are streaming tonight's race in partnership with Barefoot Racing over the airwaves of CRN's YouTube and Twitch channels. Just search for Cav-OK Racing, that's C-A-V-O-K. Also, feel free to join in on the conversation with your comments and questions, as we'll be monitoring the comment section of both channels, and we'll get to you as time permits. Now, joining me in the booth, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm not sure if Max is there, but Ian, you're joining us tonight, correct?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay? Is all good?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got you 5x5.
All right. Yes, I'm here. And tonight I'm here with a different one of the twins. Ben is joining me tonight in the booth.
Hello.
Hello, Ben. Welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, this is my first race broadcasting.
Awesome. Well, you picked a good one. You know, it's only been 2 weeks since we last did a broadcast. It feels like much longer than that, but I'll tell you what, the off season has been absolutely loaded with news and notes, and so we've got about one metric crap ton of stuff to talk about. And so I wasn't sure where to start off first. You know, I kind of want to. I figured it'd be best to start with the least race-related stuff for Lime Rock Park Week 1, and then kind of move that direction. So I'll just start out by saying, first of all, Jason Bice officially announced the creation of a new spin-off league that will occur on Thursday nights. It's kind of an IMSA-style race. It's got a few GTE cars, GT3 cars, and it'll follow the official iRacing VRS sprint schedule. Now, if you're watching and you don't play iRacing and that was all gibberish to you, basically they're very fast cars on the same track with even more powerful cars, and none of which are open wheel. These are all look more like the cars that you'd see out on the road. Of course, none of which anybody I know could afford. But and we're following the same track schedule as one of iRacing's official series. So I know I'm excited for that. We won't be broadcasting that. I'll actually be trying to race in that myself. But that's one big thing that came out. Speaking of racing different types of cars, we do have, I'd like to officially announce a limited run series that will include Sunday Night Skippy drivers in a wide variety of cars and tracks, and we're calling it the Sunday Night Skippy Winter Challenge for Charity. And it basically started off as an idea where we're just going to run 6 different, fun, iconic type races over the course of the next 6 months. And it quickly turned into a charity event when our own Jack Moffitt selflessly donated $100 to each race winner's charity of choice. And of course, there would be smaller purses for the podium and a few other awards given out for each race. But I'm really looking forward to that as well. And each driver will be picking a charity that they want to represent and for whom they're racing. Many are already starting to make paint schemes for their cars they're going to be racing that's centered around the charities. Also, we won't be broadcasting that, but it will be broadcast, and we'll start posting more information there about that here. It's going to be broadcast by Apex Racing TV, so we'll make sure you guys get that. They're actually one of the official iRacing recognized professional broadcast outfits that gets recognized by them. So we're very excited to have them on board, and we're really looking forward to the next 6 months. As we try to bring some, good causes to light and have some fun in the process. And I think those are the big things. So, moving back into the league-specific stuff and getting into Season 4, clean slate for everybody. Couple things that I wanted to touch on before we get into it, just to bring everybody up to speed on what happened. We do have new teams basically that have been forming, and the information that I have here is a little old, unfortunately. Some changes happened tonight as we were speaking, so I'm sure we'll get that updated. But just to catch everybody up on what happens in the league, you see a lot of incidents and accidents and stuff like that. Well, what's happening in the background is stewards are actually assessing all those, and drivers will get penalties, and they're rated, from Cat 0 to Cat 5, anywhere from it was kind of, it was a racing incident. Stuff happens when you're driving cars that close to each other, to clearly this was intentional, and everywhere in between, and then not to overcomplicate it, but you're assessed penalty points. Each driver has a safety score, and you subtract from that safety score every time you incur a category incident, for the most part. And so we had a few drivers last season who unfortunately dipped into the below the minimum, and were unable to continue racing for that season. Of course, they are welcome back when the time permits, based on the rules, but that is kind of what happened. Well, one of the bigger shakeups obviously was Christian Perez met that minimum, was basically DQ'd for the rest of the season, and as of right now, I've not heard back. I'm sure he had some disagreements with the categories that were assessed, but that's part of it, and which is fine. But basically led to some shakeups in the teams. So we'll post those right here, right now. You'll see that Christian's former teammate Edwin is now, and that's not Team Storm. That's actually going to be Toxic Racing with Jonathan Dockery. So that was one of the first moves of silly season there. We've got a new team, the B team, with Luis Buoni and Darwin Romero. I just got note that the Voyagers of Jack Moffitt and Nikolai Wood is disbanding. So they are no longer a team. They had a little bit of a falling out there. And Peanut Butter Jelly Time with Sammy Bridges and Adam Wright has now become, I got to get this right, Fujiwara's Tofu Delivery Service. I'll be honest, I had to look that one up, but that's what they'll be. So we'll make that change here before too long. And then other ones of note, Joshua Dancy, Bill Groombridge are the Albino Buffaloes. JR Hoops and Jeff Torbeck are Bent Wing Racing, which that may have changed as well. But there you go. So we've got quite a few shakeups in the team championship competition for the team championship. So excited to see how that all shakes out.
Well, I think we're going to have a good season. There's some neat races lined up for us for all these teams and individual privateers, shall we call them, to have a go at. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this whole thing plays out as we go forward through the all of the races we've got for them. And as you said, it's going to be very, very busy. What with Sunday Night Skippy and the new Winter League and the other things that we seem to be putting on our plates. One wonders how we're going to have a time to sort of get our heads around any one of the particular cars.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be part of the challenge, and it's just lighthearted and fun, and of course, driving for your charity is always fun. But at the same time, we're all competitors at heart, and so you get about a month in between each race. We're starting out in the GT3 cars, and we're going to go to the Indy car. Then we'll be driving the new Formula One car, and then we'll go into dirt oval and driving sprint cars on a dirt oval. Like, it's all over the place, folks. It's gonna be quite a challenge. Awesome. Well, the other, speaking specifically to week one here at Lime Rock Park, some other changes that were made over the off season were the points system. So this is basically in a response to try to drive more competition up at the front of the pack, and kind of not disincentivize, but the fuel saving strategy, and kind of reward leading the race and being up there and getting those points. So it's a little convoluted. It's not really convoluted. Just because there's a number or a letter in there doesn't mean that. But basically, drivers will be getting a point for every X amount of laps led, depending on how many laps are in the total race. So they give you some examples right there. But basically what this is going to do is, instead of hanging back and saving fuel, this is going to incentivize you to go up there and actually lead the race, because you can see there's no more real point gap. It's only 1 point per position. So P1 gets 43 points, 42 points for P2, and so on and so forth. So it kind of disincentivizes you hanging back there and just trying to slingshot at the very end to win, or try to use this fuel strategy. So this should really curious to see how that impacts things, especially at this short track. That's almost people have described it as almost the an oval, in Skippy's. So
it really is. What we need to do is we need to do a quick track walk with one of the drivers once they get going. Quali has just come up on the screen, so I think we'll probably soon be heading out onto the track. And if you choose a driver, my mouse has just died. If you choose a driver, Chris, what I'll do is I'll do our track talk while you are following him.
All right. Well, we've got Chris Herrera. We're on board with him as he's crossing the start-finish line right now.
Of course, I'm now trying to find a cable to recharge my mouse with. So give me a second here.
Okay. All right. Well, actually,
what amongst yourself?
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll bring it back to Scenic, and I'll bring up the actual track map here for everybody, just so they can get a sense of what Ian's about to talk about. As you can tell, there's only one left-hand turn, which is turn 3, aptly named the left-hander, and the rest are all right. And to me, this is how you name a track. This is how you name track turns. It's very straightforward. You could probably guess what these turns are called. Just based, it's very straight to the point.
All right, I'm back. I'm ready to roll.
All right.
So,
Well,
who are we going to go with?
We'll bring the track map back down, and let's just go back with Chris. He's crossing the start-finish line again.
So you cross the start-finish line, and as Chris was saying, this is one of the harder corners on the track. You get down, looking for the 2 board there on the left-hand side, dropping down into third gear, sorry. And then pretty much now you're full throttle all the way through turns 3. You're just going to let it drift out. You're going to hold it in as you pull around here. You're still in third gear. Go around this last little corner here, third gear. Let the car drift out to the outside, going up into 4th. And you're going to be in 4th now all the way around the rest of the track without coming off the throttle. You'll be flat out. This is flat out through here. Just let the car drift a little to the left. You just got to, as you come over the top of that crest, the car gets a little light. You've got to correct for it. You're still flat out in 4th here. Just make sure you don't go too wide and underneath the bridge. Dropping down, pick your turn-in point, still pinned in 4th. You come out of this corner right here at about 106, 105 miles an hour, up into 5th, and over the start-finish line, where you start looking for your second board there, and then drift back inside as you're gearing down into 3rd gear to go around. So basically you're using 3 gears for this entire race. 3rd, all the way through here, still in 3rd, still in 3rd, still in 3rd, still in 3rd, changing up into 4th, and now you're in 4th all the way around the rest of the track. So it is very like an oval in a sense that, there's not a lot of differentiated turning. There's no off-camber corners. There's no trickery to this track. It is just get your tires up to temperature, pin the throttle, and try not to scrub too much speed. And that's going to be the big one, is making sure you manage that speed as you're coming round those corners so you don't scrub too much time off. I think the biggest trick for this particular race, and because it's such a short track and there are going to be 40 cars on it, is being able to navigate lap traffic. The front runners are going to be really having to continually be passing people who are in front of them, and and while those people in front of them are probably racing with someone that's beside them. So it's going to be very, very interesting in seeing how that all plays out. Excuse me. One of the things that Chris and I were talking about earlier was it's probably going to be more about managing attrition this race. Making sure that you can keep your car running, that no one knocks you off the track, that you stay on the track and stay on the lead lap. Although I do think that some of the front runners, if they get knocked off, they are fast enough that they can work their way back up through the crap pack, back onto the lead lap. So it's going to be a very interesting race.
Yeah, I just want to bring everybody's attention to the fact that Walter Collada currently sitting on the pole with a 57.3, and actually let me expand this a little bit. I apologize, I was saving some room there, but try to bring that timing tower down. We're gonna get a little interference there with our qualifying set. But you know, we're basically 59. You got to be all the way down in the 40s there to get 2 seconds away from the pole position. And with these short lap times, we're looking at close 40 laps probably. I mean, it's a shorter, a 40-minute race, a little less than a minute a lap, but you got to figure a pit stop in there and stuff like that. But yeah, it's probably gonna be 40 plus laps this race, which is it's gonna be taxing. And you know, like I was saying before, not super technical, but it demands your attention because if you slip up, you drop a tire in the grass in the wrong spot, or you hit somebody, I mean it's real tough to make that back up on such a fast short circuit.
Very true. It's going to be really interesting to see how, as I say, how all this runs out.
Well, there's your timing tower for right now. Jason Bice is parked there. He does have P3 at the moment. The other thing I want to bring up is if he's out here. I probably should have checked before I even said anything. But I thought I saw earlier. Oh no, he's in the pits. Chris Stewart, one of the founding members of Sunday Night Skippy, hasn't unfortunately been able to race with us much, but he's making his triumphant return. It's been a while since we've seen him run, but it's just want to say it's really good to see him once again. And I'm trying to get he used to run the Chick-fil-A scheme. I don't know. He still got that. Tough to tell. Anyway, we've got about 2.5 minutes left in the race. So I wanted to actually make a couple bold predictions for the season and then for the race. I was looking at it, and season 1, which is truncated, it was only 8 races, but season 1 had 3 different winners, 3 unique winners. Season 2 had 4. Season 3 had 6. So one of my bold predictions is that season 4 will have 7 or more unique winners.
Wow.
Which is over half of the races will be won by somebody different.
You are really pushing the boat out there.
I am. I'm doing my best here. I said they were bold. Likewise, with our new point system, season 1 was decided by 14 points, which again was truncated. Season 2 was decided by 15 points. Season 3 was decided by 28 points. That was the lead the champion had over the second place person. So James beat Pete by 14 points. Christian beat Edwin by 15. Pete beat Chris by 28. I predict season 4 will be decided by 7 or fewer points. I don't think we're going to know a dang thing going in to the last race of the season.
Wow. Well, I hope someone's writing that down somewhere, because I can't wait to bring that up later in the season.
We will be tracking that. Don't you worry.
All right. And so, having made all that sort of bold, very, very bold statements on what you think is going to happen, who are the people that you think are going to be in those positions?
That is a very good question. You know, we had you'd be silly. I'm trying to make a bold prediction here. I mean, you got to look at Pete and Chris as obvious favorites, Edwin as well. Yeah, Walter Collada. I mean, it's tough. If I had to try to pick somebody who maybe we don't really talk about too much or haven't in the past so far. I think I'm gonna go. Yeah. So yeah, we've got to vote for Carl Dronke. I think that's yeah. I don't know. I'd put him up there in the maybe obvious, but I'm just scrolling down through the list here. I guess I would go either, and this isn't too much of a stretch, but Jason Bice, who's made some huge improvements. He's always a top 10, always a threat for a top 5. Just needs a few things to go his way. Steve Dewar finding a lot of pace. And actually, as we do that, let's bring up our grid here. Sorry, we're running a little bit behind. I apologize. Congratulations, Edwin swoops in at the last second, grabs a 57.226 for the pole, and I'll scroll through those. Congratulations to Edwin on, I believe, some bonus points there.
Well, we're gridding up slowly but surely. All the cars are getting themselves up there. Soon be on the off.
We have plenty, let me tell you. We're going to do a final count here.
Ballerino's down in the 57.2s. But if you look at that, the top 15 cars are in less than a second from each other.
Yeah.
In terms of the hot lap time.
Yep.
And it's not even that. It's the top, not 15. What is it? It's the top. Gosh. 22 cars are pretty much within a second of each other.
That's
insane.
That's pretty good. So we've got 43 cars on the grid right now. 43 cars at Lime Rock Park. Whew. I'll tell you what. I'm ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for this, but I am. It's been too long. Let's do this.
Here we go. And they're off. Here we go. They all seem to get away around that first set of corners.
That's tough. That is tough on cold tires. Look at that. They're going 2, almost 3 wide there. They're keeping it clean so far. You can see Chris taking over.
Oh, and someone's gone sideways. Backing out to get around him.
Oh, looked like Jake Ashe, Dancy, Trediak, and Bell, Wilmer. Oh my goodness! Yeah, we're gonna have to.
That's gonna put some people a little bit out of place. So we're gonna see even more passing going on. Good for us as the watchers. As they come up and they make their way around the last corner, around over the start-finish line.
You can
Edwin
see
Ballerino's pulling out a bit of a lead at the moment.
He's already trying to break the draft. You can see him swerving down the front stretch there, the Sam Posey stretch. Oops. All right, that was a pretty exciting start. We'll bring this back up. Wilmer's back in the pits. We may have to go back and try to unpack what happened. As you can see, the string of, I want to say we're about 30 cars there in the lead pack,
Yeah.
if you will. Here, let's bring up the interval. Sorry about that.
So you got Jason Bice chasing Walter Collada, chasing Chris Herrera, chasing Edwin Ballerino, and they are all in each other's draft, just about. And Edwin is trying his best, and he's got this like chain of cars that are linked to his draft. He's towing them along. Basically, goes a little wide going into the second part of turn 1, but holds it really well. And it keeps it really tidy going through turn 3.
And we're in lap 3, and we've already got, you see, Adam Cole will be the first person that they're going to be approaching here. Carrington Wilmer not that far ahead of Adam. You see Adam leaving the picture there as Edwin leads the chain down the hill.
That chain is growing as other cars seem to work their way back up towards that front pack. But the front three are starting to gap out just a little bit. And if Jason doesn't catch up with them pretty quick, they will lose the draft as they can't start to come around. And Jeffrey Decker is hard on Jason's heels.
Yeah, we got some great racing happening back here. Look at that. Nearly 3 wide there through the left-hander. And that's Carl Dronke trying to follow Jonathan Dance, Jared Hoops, Pete Mulbroughton. So some of these front runners you'd expect to see up there kind of in the double digits. Not something we saw a ton last season outside of accidents. So curious to see what happened.
Yeah.
If that's just a function of the race.
And Paul Bachelor is catching up with that front pack. As Jeffrey Decker gets ever so much closer to the gearbox of Jason Bison.
Oh, was that Luis Bubino went off the track? Looks like he's gonna re-enter. I didn't see exactly what happened, but he's lost quite a few spots. You can see him falling. He'll slot his way in ahead of Bill Groombridge.
As Edwin safely gets past Cole, and Chris is right on him now, right on him. And Chris could actually pass him for the lead on this lap, as he's right on the back of the gearbox of Edwin. Edwin pulls wide to try and get Chris out of his draft. Chris just keeps going straight and now is actually ahead of Edwin going into the right-hander at corner 1. But Edwin has the inside line, and they are so close. And Chris is just holding it, and stays inside. He's now got the inside for turn 3, and just slots himself in front of Edwin for turn 3. Edwin's now on the inside for turn 4, but Chris has a faster line around, and so he keeps the lead for now. I don't think that's going to last long.
Almost opened the door for Walter there too.
Yeah, because they've been fighting with each other. Jason is now caught up with that front pack, and Walter is getting a bit racy on Edwin's gearbox. But of course now Walter has to contend with Jason coming behind him, and Jason is worried about Jeffrey Decker behind him. And if all of them keep going, Paul Bechler is going to get right up behind the whole lot of them. So it's all go.
Well, Jeffrey Decker was the name I was looking for earlier too. He'd be another dark horse, I think, for a championship run. If I were to make some bold predictions as we look right along board, see his view, looking forward at Jason, Walter, Edwin, and Chris. And they've gapped themselves just a bit, 1.6 seconds now, back to Paul Bachler in the 6th position.
Edwin's going for an inside move, not quite making it stick going up the hill. And Walter Collada is right on the back of Edwin's gearbox now. As he had to back out of that corner just a little bit as they went around it, and it was dropped just a couple of tenths off the back of Edwin. Chris pulls wide, trying to break the draft, and then let Edwin go and see if he can keep it on the inside and keep the corner. As Walter is really taking advantage of this and looking to see if he can just sneak his way through. You know, fun fact, Walter is a sneaky little fella. And Jason, oh my gosh, Jason is taking advantage of the whole thing, and he is now right up. We now have a front 5, I should say, as Jeffrey Decker has arrived on the scene. Oh my gosh, Jason went wide and spun it. He has been now dropped out. How far back has he gone? Oh, and who's this? Paul Bechler ran off the road and has lost a tire. Oh my gosh, there's murder and mayhem going on.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness me. Well, that changes things, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Let's take a look back here at the incident with Jason. Oh no! Yep, just lost it. He was
Oh
running
my
so
God.
well. Oh, and that's what took out the 16 car of Paul Buckler. Let's take one more look at that from Paul's view.
So that changes the front pack. We've got a whole new front race going on now.
As they're in pit road there, let's take a look back up at the front. Oops. I don't know why we're slow-mo.
So Chris Herrera is now in second, and he's still sitting on the gearbox of Edwin Ballerino. And in third is Walter Colata, and Jeffrey Decker is working really hard to just catch himself up. He's just outside the draft of that first three, which allows them to just pull away a little bit from him. But if they start fighting with each other, as Chris Herrera goes on, takes the inside line around turn one and comes out right in front of Edwin Ballerino. If they keep fighting with each other, Jeffrey is getting the opportunity to keep working his way forward and slowly catching up. And Mike Bowers, usually late for parties apparently, is Mike Bowers. I heard this from a little birdie. Yeah, he's always a bit late, but he's a bit late, but he always shows up. So he's now in process of arriving at the party of the front to see what is going on. He's a curious boy. Is our Mike Bowers.
Well, there's Mike in the 76 car, trying to work his way back up, like you said there, to Jeffrey Decker. Just behind him, we have James Hauser and, oh, Pete O'Brien. Somebody else is off. Who is that? That's Carl Dronke went wide. And he's going to lose if...
James Hauser now going down the front straight into turn one. Holds it beautifully on the inside as he just drafted by Pete. Someone went wide. Who was that went wide? That's Jake Ashe. Jake has just kind of been out of the way. I think
he's trying to. I think he's just trying to duck out there.
Yeah,
sorry, real quick. Right back here, we got Ruben Ray and Bill Groombridge have a great side-by-side battle going through turn 2 and 3 here, the left-hander. Ruben just passed Bill, and they've got Aaron Laws just kind of chilling back there. Also looks like he's going to try to make a move with Steve Dewar hot on their heels.
Now, how are we doing for pit stops? We're at 12. Where are we now? We're 10 minutes in?
Yep, about 10 minutes in.
10 minutes in. We've got to start thinking strategy now, right? Because the point system has changed, and when you run at the front, you're on the gas a lot more. Like I was telling you before, we did the track walk, or the track tour. Most of this track.
Sorry. Just saw. I think that was Aaron Law. Oh, yep. Went for just a little bit of a ride there. Wheel touch there with the 404 of Bill Groombridge, I believe that is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, and what's happening here? Chris Herrera's around.
No. Really?
Edwin went off the track. Chris went off the track. Hold up. All right, folks.
What is going on?
Let's see if we can't back that up and see maybe what happened here.
Jeffrey Decker now in first, with Mike Bowers in second, Pete Marodin in third, and James Hauser in fourth. Jonathan Dance is now in fifth. Edwin Valerino is in sixth.
Oh, that took out.
In seven. What is going on?
Yeah, that's going to take out. Looks like Edwin and Chris just drifted up into each other, ran out of room. It looks like Walter's going to go wide, into the wall. That's going to let Decker slip by through that whole thing, that whole mess. Oh, wow.
Wow, I told you this was going to be a race of attrition.
Yeah, this is a game changer right here, folks. That puts Decker out in a sizable lead, but he's got Mike Bowers now 2.5 seconds behind him. Pete Mobron, James Hauser. It looks like Edwin, though, is working his way back up.
Well, Edwin is about a corner away, so he's not far away from the back of James Hauser, who is working hard to try and get past Pete McBrodden, racing the snail racing liveried Skippy. If you ever haven't seen snail racing, have a look at their YouTube channel. It's a good laugh to watch Annie and Larry doing their thing. In the Skippies and in other cars now as well. And then I don't know if the two labs are working together or not, or if they're fighting with each other.
We've got a great here from Luis's point of view. P15, he's looking forward at Chris, Jeff, and Sammy and Jonathan Dockery up to P11. So both Jonathan and Jonathan's up 9 spots, Sammy's up 13 total, which is great. I'll pull that up for everybody here so you can see. Kind of see how things are shaking out, mainly based on some wrecks, but some of these drivers gaining quite a few spots just through staying clean and having some pretty dang good lap times. We got a really good battle brewing here. Chris looks like he's got 2 cars too wide ahead of him, and he just cannot seem to
get through past him.
Find a way.
Not racing them. It's not like he has a blue flag to get him by. He has to race his way past these guys.
This is for position. That's right. Yeah.
I note that James Hauser just set down a 56.5. As he tries to get past the 76 car of Mike Bowers for third. Pete McBrodden has managed to get past Mike Bowers and is now running third. Mike Bowers is in fourth, and James Hauser, who's breathing in the exhaust fumes of young Mike Bowers to try and get himself past him.
Oh, we have got. I thought I just saw nose cones go flying. that might have just been.
No.
I don't know what that was. Well, here's Jonathan Dockery working on Jeff Torbeck there from Toxic Racing. He's right in his gearbox. Holy cow!
Well.
Gonna make a run. Chris is gonna take it 3 wide.
Incredible racing going on here. Love
Trying
that.
To make it
Love
4.
that view.
If they had a little more momentum, that would have been 4 wide.
You know. Well, I think they're trying to get 5 wide.
Oh boy.
One of the things we should do while the race sort of settles in as we go through some of these laps, one of the things we should do is we should get a little bit of information about all the different charities that are going to be represented during your charity event, and let the folks out there who do listen to us lather on a Sunday evening know what the charities are and what they do and why the drivers are representing them. And of course provide maybe on screen some links that people, if they want to go ahead and donate to, they could actually go and donate to the charities themselves directly.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. Great way to advertise the causes as we go forward. I don't have that ready to go at the moment, but we will definitely have that and start introducing those as we go forward. I see no reason why we have to wait for the winter challenge to start, showing what's important to people and kind of what they're going to be racing for. And Darwin Romero's off as we're talking. Let's see if we can see what happened there. Nope.
We're running lap 18 right now.
Yeah, so
no one is even hinting at possibly pitting. So
we're approaching the beginning of what I would traditionally be the window here, but with the way that this is shaken out, and you can see the track map now, we've got a fairly solid string of cars through the whole entire course, not even halfway. So, and that was true before too, I guess, but maybe somebody who was down on their luck early is going to try the undercut. So let's keep an eye out here as we approach the beginning of the window and see what Decker does versus, let's see some of these guys back here like, Chris and Jonathan Dance and Carl Dronke. This pack right here, I wonder how much they're going to coordinate.
Well, the packs need to work together if they want to get up the road. But I think more to. Oh, I saw someone spinning for the pits. I think that was Mabrotten. Mabrotten has gone into the pits, and so he's maybe looking at a bit of an undercut.
There you go.
I think more to the point, Chris, is that in some races when you pit, the strategy is that you want to get yourself to pit in a position where you do the shortest possible pit, but where you come out gives you a clean racetrack to come out on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here, you are not going to get a clean racetrack to come out on. You are
this is
coming
true.
out in track, and you have got to figure out how to race them, because a lot of people will have passed you in them while you're refueling. Somebody else is in the pits now. That's Oliver Hartley. While you're refueling, and they may now legitimately be on the same lap as you, and you have to race them to get past them. So it's going to get very, very interesting. And it looks like somebody's crashed. Who's
I've got. Oh no, Jonathan Dockery. And the 976, is that Sammy Bridges? Do I have that right? I don't want to be calling Sammy Bridges, Jonathan Dockery get together. Wow, and Jonathan ends up. Ooh.
Climbing all over Sammy. I mean, that's just rude. That is just rude. Just left him high and dry, upside down on the track.
Not how you want your evening to go.
Good gracious me.
Yep. Well, we've got more takers for the pits. Let's pull up the pit laps so everybody can see where the folks are deciding their strategy. I would say some of these are not by choice, as we've seen, but certainly Pete Mabron's was.
Well, James has just passed Mike Bowers coming out of the pits, and James is now ahead of him. So James Hauser is now running in second. Jeffrey Decker is still running in first. He hasn't pitted yet, neither has James. But Mike Bowers, who has pitted, is running in third. So as soon as James and Mike pit, and so James and Mike and Jeffrey pit, obviously Mike Bowers will be running in first place again.
Let's take a look here at Pete Mabron, where you can see the start-finish line there is where the leader is crossing right now as Pete's making his way up the hill. So that's the gap.
It's a big gap. It's a big gap.
Yep. That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but it is a short track, so we'll see what happens.
It is.
Somebody else is around. Nope. Going in. Oh! And we have contact. JR Hoops was trying to make it onto pit road. The 00 Walter Collada.
Oh my gosh.
And he tried to save it. He was just trying to get into pit road. Oh no.
He was
boy.
quietly minding his own business, and all of a sudden the Skippy just plowed into him.
Oh man, I bet Walter's going to be kicking himself for that one.
Yep.
Great start to the race, and it just kind of fell apart after that for Walter Collada this evening. But that's opening up. Oh, so we do have takers here in pit lane. Let's take a look. Edwin Viorino, Carl Dronke, Jonathan Dance. I believe those are the big ones.
So it's hammer time for Hauser and Jeffrey Decker now to really try and stretch a bit of a lead space that's going to be more than the length of the pit stop for them. And I think it's going to get crucial that the two of these guys who have been running hard at the front, and I think James is maybe just about inside of the draft, but not really close enough to get the big effect of it, where it's not going to allow him to short fuel. And he's heading in, and James is heading in. He's got those labs, he's got thrown the ball, they're chasing it, and hopefully they will drop it at his feet to then throw it again. Probably not, knowing dogs.
Well, Lyndall McMurphy, Adam Wright also in pit road. We've got a huge line of cars back here too, with drivers who have not pit. I take that back. Looks like a few of them are deciding now is the time. That is Chris Stewart, R. Scott Bell, and Joshua Dancy. As Scott Dorkins now works his way up in that 99 car. He is now up 23 spots to P9, has not pit yet. He is the last of the lead pack that hasn't. James Hauser is P10 right behind him. Wow. So now we wait. Now we wait to see. Jeffrey Decker is in. Mike Bowers is in. Jack Moffat's in. Oh, there's a wreck.
What?
That was Mike Bowers getting into the 27. Daniel Pagowski. That looked like a little bit of a miscommunication slow down there. So that's gonna. Oh man. Boy, when you said attrition. Here we go. Steve Dewar leads the race. Steve Dewar yet to pit. Scott Dorkins in P2.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Steve has already pitted, right?
I do not believe he has pit, no.
No?
I think him and Scott have yet to make a trip down pit road is what my overlay is showing, but it does look like with few exceptions, they are the only ones really remaining.
Steve Dewar, look at that.
There you go. So Steve ducks in. Let's see, Scott. He's going to continue on. He's soldiering on. Scott Dorkins leads the race.
Get points for laps led, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to meet that amount with his fuel state, but.
Well, even if he gets one, he gets a point for it. So
that's right.
It's worth leading when you can.
Well, don't look now, but look who's P2. And right behind him, Pete Mobron. Out of nowhere, Pete Mobron in the Snail Racing 515 car, but he has company. He's got James Hauser just behind him.
Yeah.
Classic battle.
Fun fact about James is he does like to breathe, and in fact it's his native air, the exhaust fumes of another car. He gets headaches if he doesn't get his daily dose.
It's the opposite, yeah.
Yeah, you'll quite often see him out in the parking lot breathing in somebody's equipment.
So Scott Dorkins gets in pit road there. That's going to leave Pete Mobron, your current leader now. He pit 5-ish laps earlier than most of these other drivers. Does he have the gas?
Does
he have the petrol?
Yeah, well, we've got such a short track, and we've got so many drivers. He can pick up a draft from a back marker if he needs to.
This is true.
Do a bit of fuel saving. You know?
He can't wait too long though. I mean, like, we've got James right there. We've got some great racing. Sorry, right back here, Sean Tretiak. Sammy Bridges makes the pass, I believe. Yep. Yeah. They're working their way through. Ruben Ray, Bill Groombridge. That's a tight grouping of 4 drivers there who are not willing to give up anything. Just
to let you know that Paul Bachelor has now joined the James Hauser Pete McRotten train, making it a train of 3. He's now the caboose. Or I should say, that's not quite true, because now Mike Bowers is there. So Mike Bowers, and then Edwin Ballerino is behind. And then Jeffrey Decker. And then Jonathan Dancy. Good Lord. It's incredible.
Here's the Chick-fil-A car. I was right about Chris Stewart, by the way. I was feeling good about that. Yeah, so Pete, James, Mike, Edwin, Jeffrey Decker make up your top 5, and a couple great battles. So it's not looking at the moment like we're going to get a new... Actually, I don't know. Mike Bowers has not won a Sunday Night Skippy race, I don't believe. So he may be... I did not get to make this prediction. My prediction for the actual race was going to be that somebody who's never won a Sunday Night Skippy race before would win. Looks like he and Jeffrey Decker are my last hopes of that coming true, but I'm sure Pete and James and Edwin are like, well, I don't care about your prediction. I want to win this thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it all pans out as we push lap 30 of the race. Looks like there might be a few more than 30 laps. You see, that's a bold move by Pete McRotten. Sliding over to try and pick up the draft of a back marker and then sliding back in front of James. James just kept going straight, and so he's now gained, a couple of meters on the back of Pete as they round into the bottom section of the track. Flat out in 4th gear around this little corner here, and up the hill, over the crest. I'll tell you, the newest updates to the thing, as Skippy goes across that crest, the car gets light and you hear the engine noise change. It's kind of cool. And your steering doesn't work very well because your car's half in the air. It is pretty neat to see how they're really starting to pull this thing together. I mean, it's pretty incredible. And I don't know if James is fuel saving, but he's just hanging back. I thought he could have got a little closer to Pete on that lap, coming down that back straight. As who's in 3rd? Mike Bowers in 3rd, Edwin Ballerino's in 4th. Decker is right behind Ballerino. Jonathan Dancy is trying to get in contact with them to get that in. Carl Dronke has got a few back markers between him and Dancy to sort of navigate. Swiftly gets past Lyndon and Murphy.
Yeah, you can see him swinging wide there too as they head around the west bend there, turn 6.
Yep. As we run lap 32 of what will probably be, about 44, 43 lap race?
It would appear that way at the moment. Holbach, we're back in the pits. And Bill Groombridge around. Let's see what happened. Looks like may have touched wheels there with Sammy Bridges. And he's around. Loses a nose cone. I don't know how much damage that'll actually be, but...
Nose cones aren't as bad as they used to be. You do lose a little bit. Oh, but he's got a broken front right wheel, so...
Okay, well...
Oh, it's gonna drop. Moffat is climbing all over the gearbox of Lyndon McMurphy, getting very, very close to him in 9th. He's trying to get into his 8th position. He had to back out of that corner a little bit, or he'd run over him. But that whole pack is starting to close up just a wee bit. So, okay, the racing is getting racier.
It is.
Gentle.
Is indeed.
I haven't seen very many comments from our friends in the gallery there, so maybe we put them
I'm sure they're holding their breath just like we are. We'll check in here. Chris Herrera is currently P10 and trying to work his way back up as everybody should be, but he's got quite a gap, almost nearly 5 seconds between him and the aforementioned Jack Moffitt. You can see the gap right there.
And it's getting closer. Is Hauser now in first place?
It does look like James has taken over the lead from Pete. Check in. I'm not exactly sure how many laps Pete led. I think he may have gotten the number that he felt was appropriate, and then and then probably wasn't battling James. I mean, that's a heck of a battle that you're gonna have to put up with trying to keep
James Hauser behind you?
Yeah, James Hauser at bay. Sorry, I was looking. Sammy Bridges looks like he had maybe had some issues. He went off track. Let's just check that real quick.
Tumbling down the order.
There's a 976 on the far right of your screen there.
Rodden passes James back into the lead on T1.
Yeah, he and Sean Trediak there made quite a bit of contact.
Dang.
So not what you want to see, but Pete Mulbron takes back the lead, so maybe not. Maybe this is just a great battle brewing for the lead of the race.
The new scoring process means that you really want to be running in first place, because if you're only going to get, let's say in first you get 10 points, and in second you get 9, but you get points for every lap you lead. That's the only way you're going to now differentiate and build that gap, that points gap that you need to really win the race, right? So,
yep.
You know, now it's going to be all about getting in front and staying in front to build up those additional points, so that when the race finishes, first place gets 1, or let's say 10, but then if they've led 30 laps, then they get 30 more. Is it a point a lap?
It's not per lap, it's based on the length of the race, but I mean it's basically the same concept though, just not quite as the runaway points system as 1 per each lap, especially at races like Lamrock Park, where we're going to be doing twice, if not more, the amount of laps than other races this season. So they're trying to normalize the data there a little bit.
Pete is going to passes, handily passes. James handily passes Pete Mulbron going down into first, corner 1.
Well, we've got less than 4 minutes remaining in the race here, so this is it. If Pete's got the fuel, great. We'll look at the gap here.
Managed to get himself up into third.
Yeah, let's go to Blimp. Oops. Go to Blimp Cam here so we can get a sense of the gaps. You got James Hauser and Pete Mulbron right there, and just right there behind the Google car of Oliver Harley is Edwin Viorino. There's Mike Bowers and Jeffrey Decker, Jonathan Dance and Lyndall McMurphy, and I guess that's hot yellow or green or something like that, and Lyndall McMurphy in the blue car right there. There's Jack Moffitt in P9, and now only 3 seconds back is Chris Herrera.
So, Hauser's back in the lead. There we go. I was going to say, I thought I saw Dronky was in the lead, but he's not. Okay.
And while we still got a couple minutes left here, we'll check back in. It looks like Chris is staring down Ruben Ray. Makes the pass easily. Carl is... What? Is Carl in the pits? What happened to Carl? I lost situational awareness on Carl. It looks like he may have crashed. Let's take a look. He in the 93 car of Jonathan Dance. Going into turn 1. And gonna barely get Jack Moffitt, but the oh no, the 350 car locks it up. Nowhere to go. Yeah. And that is not going to be a great night. That's what happened to Carl. That's why we don't see him anymore. Yeah. All right. Well, back to live. Let's come back up here to the lead where we can ride along board if we so choose. You can see this is the view from James's gearbox, and you can just see how close these drivers are running.
You should see Lee Rodham just sweep past water above James in a moment as they go down the straight. And there he goes. Down in the turn 1, handily back in first place.
I think we got about 3 laps left based on these
lap times?
on these lap times, so
over half a minute, so we've got a minute of time left.
See what happens. Mike Bowers, yeah, he's back. All right, let's look around here real quick. Let's take a look. Steve Dewar on R. Scott Bell trying to make a move. That is the battle for P12 now. A little further back, Chris Stewart and Ruben Ray still going to battle for P15. Scott Dorkins and Carrington Wilmer are coming down the downhill, and they are trying for that 21st position with company. And Daniel Pagowski and JR Hoops side by side for that P25 position. So some pretty good racing down throughout the field. And right here, this is Lyndall McMurphy making a move on, or trying to, on Jonathan Dance.
Nicely done.
All right, well, here we go. We are past. We were getting so focused there. There's Pete Mulbroughton in the lead, coming down the final turns. James
is not quite close
nowhere
enough
near. Not sure what may have happened. He was much closer than that.
A white flag on the previous lap.
I did not either, so that caught us all by surprise. But that's Pete, James, Edwin, Jeffrey Decker in the 13 car.
Finished.
Jonathan Dance.
Okay. Oh, okay. And the crash.
And Lyndall McMurphy at the line. Wow, great finish. Jack Moffitt, Chris Herrera.
Oh, there's
here comes
carnage at the end of the
metallic carnage.
Adam Wright. They're all piling in there.
The 87, as you can see. Luis Babino in P10, Jeffrey Torbeck, P11, R. Scott Bell, Steve Dewar, Mike Bowers, Don Parks, back there in the 54 car crosses the line. Sean Trediak, Sammy Bridges, Ruben Ray. And we've got a great finish here. Chris Stewart making it past Joshua Dancy, who limps it across. Here's Carrington. And we see the carnage over there. Looks like most everybody has crossed the line, so that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote for...
There's still a few to finish, but they're getting there. They're getting there.
Oh, yep, here we go. Oh, Thomas Fotis is in there, so there's Jake Ashe coming across the line. Wiggling the wheels, sharp looking car, and actually Pagowski already finished, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. He's just doing his cool down lap, I suppose. Awesome. Well, whew, I wanted to go back and look real quick at what happened. Let's see, we're gonna play. Where was that? Finish here. There's Lyndall McMurphy and Jonathan Dance. Oof, just a little over-under move there. Jonathan's able to make, and Lyndall had it, but just did not have the momentum off that final turn as they crossed the line. Either way, pretty dang good.
Yeah, that was a heck of a race.
As you can see, the pile of wrecked Skippies, I'm sure quite done with Lime Rock Park for just a little bit.
I'm sure there's a fair few people in here who are very happy about that statement.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. This is your results for tonight. Congratulations, Pete Mobron. My prediction did not come true, but you know, Pete, I'm sure does not care one bit about my prediction. Congratulations on a raceable run. He was a little bit further down there in the field and was able to make the smart decisions in the pace and keep his nose clean, and he comes away with a victory. Followed by James Hauser and Edwin Viorino is going to round out your podium for this evening, and I will scroll through the rest. It was a really nice race, though, by everyone, and yeah, it was great. Lyndall McMurphy finishing up there in P6. That was a really fantastic finish for him.
It was very well done.
And we got 20 out of all of I don't want to sound surprised because we've got some very, very skilled. 20 people ended up finishing on the lead lap, which is fantastic for that many cars starting on such a short track.
Yes. I mean, you know, as you saw them all streaming away at the beginning, at the front, you know, sorry, let me try that again. As you saw them all streaming away on the from the start and making it cleanly through, you know, the first lap, I had high hopes. Unfortunately, they were dashed, or as Max would say, it was a great race because there was lots of crashes.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
His map in the race is like, you know, the more wrecks, the merrier. Sort of like last week's Formula One race.
Well, right. Yes, exactly. No arguments here. Well, let's bring in James Hauser real quick, and I kind of want to get we had unfortunately cut away to look at some other battles that were going on, trying to get the overall view of the race, but with James, you had him right there at the end. There's some great racing heading into the last few laps, and then when we looked away, we looked back, and Pete looked like he was just a little too far for that draft to really be super effective. What happened there?
I was going on my team name running on empty. So
Oh my God.
Yes. I love it.
Not quite enough fuel, hey?
I have not figured out how to use JRT. This is my maiden run with JRT. I ended up having to do some fuel saving towards the end there, and then I started sputtering out of the last corner.
Well, in that case, it's actually quite amazing that you were able to still beat out Edwin and Decker, and Dance, you know, and all them for that matter too. That's, you know, it's funny. We were making comments about if we were worried Pete may not have enough there toward the end, but that's good. You know, you got to live up to the team name, and it was great watching you guys run regardless. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a great race. I mean, it looked like there was a little bit of carnage here and there, and you know, luckily I was able to stay out of it the first time all week. I think I've raced 3 public race sessions this week, and I've been wrecked every single one of them. So this is the first one I've finished without having contact or having someone contact me.
Well, that's a good start for the season. You know, get through your first race cleanly. I hope
Yeah.
it bodes
Exactly.
well for going forward.
Yep. Yeah. And I didn't get to see what happened to Chris. Chris and I think Edwin and maybe someone else tangled up at the front there. We were actually kind of reeling them in at one point. I was pretty confident we'd catch up, and then they wrecked. But yeah, overall good race. I had low expectations for this track, but I got a good place finish, so it's all good.
No, it's nice to watch, and it's good to see the season opening so well. And I am really sorry that I was not able to race tonight, because I think that I feel itchy about not having raced. So hopefully I'll correct that for next week.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for doing the broadcast and everything. We got another great season started up. So another bunch of races left, and championship points should be up for grabs between everyone, and just a matter of getting good finishes throughout the year and our season, and then making sure we get with the new point schedule. You can come in first, but if you didn't lead the most laps, you might not get the most points. So that's going to be really interesting coming up.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's gonna make a really big difference, because you could even come third, but if you've been leading most of the laps, you might win more points than the person that comes first.
Exactly. And what it's going to do is it's going to force the guys up front to think about racing instead of drafting and not necessarily even fuel saving. Not, you throw the fuel saving out now. We used to race up front and try to get a gap over the people behind, stay in draft. Now, if you can't do that anymore, you do that now, you're not going to get enough points if you don't stay in the front. So that's going to allow hopefully third through sixth or seventh to be able to stay in contact with the leaders.
Good stuff. Well, I think that's going to make it a very, very interesting season. So, how are you feeling for this season, and what are your predictions?
I don't know. I think Pete's proven he's the one to beat right now. It's going to be an interesting. It's going to be a real interesting season. If you've seen Jonathan Dance is extremely fast. Edwin's back. Darwin is fast. You got Pete again, and then Chris Herrera. I don't know what Jason did. I think he put a penalty on all of our cars, so that he's faster than most of us now. But I don't know what he's doing. But he's picked up a ton of speed.
And no
Oh,
arguments
yeah,
there
well,
with Jason. He's found his pace. In true Sunday Night Skippy fashion, he ran into some bad luck early, but he was primed for a good finish tonight, and I think he's going to be a force moving forward. And suddenly, the top group of drivers becomes a lot tighter, more tightly packed. It's going to be really fun to watch, and I think the whole league is being elevated too. The amount I was talking earlier with Jonathan Dockery and his hopes for the season, and a 15 or higher for season 4 in Sunday Night Skippy is a lot different proposition than 15th or higher, in season 2. So it's really been fun to watch everybody just improve their racecraft, and the races have gotten just even better for it.
absolutely.
Yep,
And
definitely.
we've got some interesting races coming up. I mean, this was race 1 of what is going to be a 13 race season. 12 race season. We head off to Sao Paulo next weekend for the Between the Lakes race. So that should be kind of fun.
Yeah, I need to get in and get the practice. If I can get the practice, I can run up front. I mean, I'm fast enough I can stay in the draft, but I need to practice and get my lap times down just a little bit to be able to really give the guys a run for the money at the front.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, you've got a whole week to practice. I'm sure you'll get lots and lots and lots and lots of time to do that. And so good luck, and we'll see how that goes.
All right, thanks, guys.
So we've got 2 more in the broadcast booth hanging out for us.
Well, let's bring in Jeffrey Decker, because he had a P4 finish tonight and a very strong showing to start the season. One of the guys that I was talking about earlier, who I think's got a real, not even, I want to say outside shot. That's definitely not what I mean. But we've got the same drivers winning championship after championship. I think Decker's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So talk to us about the race there, Jeffrey.
Yeah, it was good. I just had a plan to go heavy on fuel early and sit behind, the guys in front of me and kind of wait it out. Hopefully, maybe lead some laps, get some extra points for the team. But it ended up working out that there was some contact ahead. The seas parted, and I ended up leading, I don't know, maybe 10 laps. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it was good.
Let's you I think qualified qualified fifth, and then one spot in fourth. And on a track like this, when we saw some what we would traditionally consider top contenders kind of falling off and running into misfortune of their own, I would take that pretty much any day. And it's going to set you up really nicely moving forward the rest of the season, and not trying to dig yourself out of a hole for those championship points. Do you what are your goals looking forward for this season? Are you looking at championship, or what's your hope?
I mean, there are a ton of strong guys, so I think, definitely want to go for the championship. But my realistic goal, I mean, it's my second season, my first full season in SNS, so I think if I can pull out a win at a track this season, I'd be super happy with that, and maybe like a top 5, even top 10 points finish. I mean, I think would be amazing.
Good stuff, man. Well, it's something for you to organize yourself for and something to aim for, and we wish you the very best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome. Well, have a nice night, and good luck next week.
Yeah, you guys have a good night too.
All right. Up next from Toxic Racing, we've got Jonathan Dockery, whose teammate ended up on the podium. And I was actually just looking through here to see if I can't find the incident, but not probably the ending that you wanted. You had a really strong showing going, and just did not work out for you tonight. What was your view?
So I watched the replay, and I really don't want to say anything to get myself in trouble because
I'm not hearing Jonathan very well. Can you hear him okay, Chris?
I'll yeah, try that.
Can you hear me now?
A little better.
Okay. So I'm just waiting for the stewards to look at it. Really not supposed to call people out and stuff, but I watched the replay and I know what I think, so we'll see. Yeah, new teammate this season. I'm excited about that. We haven't really got a chance to work together a lot yet, but I was really dreading this race. Qualified, I think, around 20th, and I was running 11th at the time of the accident. So, but it was fun. I mean, the race went better than I thought up to that point, and then I pitted, came out of the pit, and I think I got in a netcode accident with like 2 laps to go. So it is what it is.
Yeah, well, you were
go again next week.
I believe P13 going into that, so if nothing else, that's got to give you some momentum and confidence. And it's a tough track, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've got a set of guys from SNS that we practice with during the week, like JR and Steve and Bill and Dancy. We all practice pretty hard, so it's like going into it. I was dreading it, but then it got okay, and I passed a few cars, and like I said, I think I was 11th whenever me and Sammy there got together, but it is what it is. So we'll reset and we'll go at it again next week. But teammates with Edwin Valerino's kind of cool. He asked me to be his teammate this season. I told him if he helped me get faster, we could try it. And then I can't keep up with that guy. They're all bad fast. It's like I told him, I was like, you need a faster teammate. He goes, you'll be fine. Okay. But got a new paint job, so we'll see how it all works out. I get to add a new excuse to the car now, so.
Yeah, right, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Well, man, I'll tell you what, we're definitely looking forward to seeing what you can do this season. I think you're underselling yourself, and they're going to over-deliver, but I guess that's the way to do it. So we'll see you next week. And
I really think I'm probably like an 18th to 24th place car most weeks, but we'll see. It's like I tell everybody, I'm okay at the end. Like, I'm probably at the end of a run if there's no wrecks or anything. Like, I could get within like a quarter, 4/10 of Edwin every now and then on a good lap. But my problem is like the first 10 laps of the run in qualifying. When the car is on new tires and stuff, I can't get it to go. So we'll see if we can figure it out.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you got a good group of folks to practice with, and looking forward to seeing the progression throughout the season for you. And although it was a disappointing end, I think it's the way you were running before a contact there was promising. So we'll see you next week, buddy, and good luck.
Sir, looking forward to it. Thanks for the broadcast, and we'll see y'all later.
Perfect. Oop, left the room there on accident. All right. Well, I was trying to save Pete for last. So he's been waiting the longest, but we'll let him wait a little bit longer since he won. He's probably cracking open some bubbly right now. Somebody who maybe isn't here with us right now. Teammate was able to not only get a podium but also represent team running on empty in the most literal way. Chris had an unfortunate wheel touch there with Edwin, and curious to get your perspective on that, Chris.
Yeah, first of all, I'm really only in here because I want to make Pete wait a little longer in the standby booth.
It's a noble cause, sir.
Congrats to Pete.
It's a noble cause.
But yeah, the contact with Edwin was a little unfortunate. I know, again, it was not malicious. It was not deliberate on his part. He just took that corner a little too tight, hit the curb, and that pushed him wide and into me. And unfortunately, took me out of the race. So it was unfortunate, not cracking any bubbly, but got a long season ahead of us. So we'll see what I can do.
Yeah, it's an important thing to remember. There is a long way to go between here and there. And I wouldn't say you're necessarily digging yourself out of a hole. A P8 finish when we've tightened the points up and are going to be giving bonus points out for things like leading X number of laps. Suddenly that gap is not as big of a hurdle as I think it was in past seasons for you. So pick a couple good races and you'll be right back in the fight. Outside of that, what are your kind of, you got to be thinking championship here this season. You're running with the big dogs now. You're a constant contender. So, is it championship or bust, or what's your goal? If you walk away from season 4, what can you say? Yeah, you know what, this was a good season.
Yeah, I think I'm going for the win. Absolutely. Not to say that anything lower than that would be disappointing or a bad finish, but I really just have my sights on getting first overall. So again, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Stuff,
yeah, well,
as long as I beat Pete.
You and James are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the team championship as well. It's going to be tough to beat you. I will say that there was a couple other folks who probably will be digging out a little bit of a hole. Carl and Walter come to immediate mind, but I'm looking forward to see what I'm excited for the schedule this season. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not. I'm super excited that we're going to be finishing at Bathurst and doing the championship race.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that one. Is that that's Mount Panorama? Is that?
That is, yes.
Okay, I think I've seen a lot of videos. That's the really curvy up and downhill.
Yeah.
Lots of up and down with some long straights.
Oh man! All right. Well, now I'm excited.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be a great way to let the season go out with a bang. And there's some other good tracks that I personally like on it as well. So,
awesome.
Very very excited for it, and just want to say congratulations on the P8, and we look forward to seeing what else you can do this season.
Yeah, thanks guys. Take care.
All right, take care. So, shall we let him in?
I think finally, Chris told us that we should not let Pete in, but I'm going to go against his judgment here, and let's interview the winner of tonight's race, somebody who I'm really looking forward to seeing what the fuel strategy in the undercut strategy was here, or how that all played out. Pete, talk us through how this race went, because we weren't even talking about you in the beginning of the race, and then suddenly you're in the lead.
Yeah, that was so this combo's really just not my thing. I kind of took it as a bye week for the official races. I didn't do any of the official races. It's just I don't have a groove here, so I didn't expect to be outside top 10 for quali, but that is what it is. So race expectations gridding up. Survival was great. That's all I was looking for. In our team chat, I was like, I have a hunch this is going to be a 3-lap race for me. So once I got beyond that, everything was gravy. But I ended up getting close to Mr. Hauser. We've got some similar styles and similar approach to racecraft. So we were able to work together and work our way up through the field. And then I heard the call from Walter that the lead pack kind of wiped, and all of a sudden we were gunning for podium. So that was kind of a surprise. It was tough to tell what was going on with pace. I was kind of watching Decker ahead. His average 3 laps were typically a little under mine, but he was dealing with traffic as well. So it's very difficult to tell what someone's true pace is when they're working their way through back markers and dynamic situations. But I was hoping that I had a couple of tenths on him. And the idea was to take obviously I was getting farmed for fuel by James and Mr. Bowers behind me. And I was hoping that, don't lose so much to fuel saving, and then maybe I could get us a couple of tenths closer to Mr. Decker so we can make a run of it. And then I saw that Jeffrey had a complicated pit entry. So he ended up coming out, 3 seconds back, and I came out just behind James, and we had about 1 second back to Mike. So I think we both, I imagine, made the decision not to fight each other and just try to break away from Mike, which we were able to do. And that was it. I managed to get it home. I managed to get 0.4 gap before we made it through the uphill, and that proved to be just enough.
Awesome. Well, it was you ran the race, and for a track that you took off on the public race side, you couldn't have. I don't know if you could have scripted that better for you personally. And obviously it takes some things going your way, but at the same time, you still got to put yourself in that position, be in the right place at the right time. You pit 4 to 6 laps sooner than most of the other guys. I want to say, of the top guys. So
you have to keep in mind that the laps are so short here that pit window is deceptive. So yes, it was 46 laps, but that's like 2 laps.
That's true. That's true. Right? Yep. That's fair.
Sorry, I was trying to find there's a quote here, someone in my chat who basically said that basically what happened is I fell into a bathtub full of horseshoes, and Walter fell into a bathtub with rusty nails, and I think that's about accurate. So we definitely expected the exact opposite result. I have no idea what happened. It's going to be an interesting broadcast to go through.
Yeah, it was tough keeping up with 100% everything, but I'm curious to see what everybody's reaction is going through and kind of see how things sorted themselves out. But congratulations, it was a well strategized and thought out race. And yeah, I'm just looking at the replay of the Decker pit lane entry.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because that's a back marker, and we'll see what happens. That's going to be a hell of a situation to unwind for the stewards. I don't know how you call that.
Yeah, the stewards are going to be busy for the next 3 to 5 days, unfortunately for them. But for the rest of us, though, we'll keep our eyes forward. We'll move on. It's for one that a track that you weren't, I don't say confident, that's not the right word, but kind of like, oh, okay, well, this is fine. This is late LRP, and we'll move on to the next week. And you walk out with a victory. It's got to feel good. The momentum's got to feel good. I'm hoping that bathtub of horseshoes, you didn't use all those horseshoes up in the first race. Hopefully you put enough in the backpack for the next few weeks. But well, thank you very much, man. Is there anything, any other people you want to shout out to, or any other thoughts?
Sure. As always, quick shout out to Larry and Annie. over at the Snail Racing crew, we had our first race to learn session of the season on Saturday, going through Brazil and some of the ins and outs of that in Skippy. And now's a great time to sign up for anyone's looking. We've talked about it on with you folks a few times here. Great place to be if you're a newer driver or even mid-level driver and looking to hone your skills in a safe environment. Great group of people, great supportive community, and going for a more formal, rigorous program this season. So pretty excited about what we're doing there, and we hope to see you.
Great resource for anybody, but if any Sunday Night Skippy members are watching, or anybody else for that matter, reach out. We'll get you the contact information from. I have not had the pleasure yet of racing or learning over there, I should say, but I've heard nothing but absolutely glowing reviews from that whole community, and it's great that we have people like you and Walter, and I'm forgetting who else. Who kind of are able to straddle both and bring the goodness to each of the communities. So yeah, we appreciate what you do, and look forward to next week.
I really hope to be able to make it next time. So I do have one thing to say for you, which is
great. I mean, lovely, Ian. What say you? Cue awkward silence.
Applause there, sir.
I think we had lost Ian.
Yeah, we lost Ian.
Oh, is this not working? Hello?
There you go. We got you now.
We got you.
Oh, I was trying to give you a bit of applause, but I don't know what happened. So
here,
we'll figure it out.
We'll take it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well-deserved win. And yes, hopefully I'll see if I can figure out the flipping time zones.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Take care. Good night.
Have a good one, Pete.
So there you go.
Yeah, race winner Pete Mulbron. Very humble in his interview as always, but just brilliant race strategy on his part, and he executed to perfection, and that's going to win you the race.
Indeed.
So there you go. A little bit of luck, of course, but execution always. So we'll see what happens at Interlagos next week.
Interlagos, yeah, I've never raced there before, so it's going to be kind of fun. I mean, what a historic track to be racing at.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going from one historic track to I would probably say another more historic track, but I'm a little
Of course, it's not actually called Interlagos.
That's right.
Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace.
That's right.
Is the official name, but
yes.
It is in between two lakes, so thus Interlagos.
Interlagos. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh my gosh, how clever are we?
Well, my friend, this has been fun. I think this was a great way to kick off the season. I know we've shot a lot of information out at everybody in the beginning there. We'll try to recap some of that as appropriate throughout the next few broadcasts.
What we're trying to tell you is we're going to be boring you.
Diluted a little bit, yeah. I got a little excited with all the information that we're throwing out at everybody, but we'll get you. I thought that was a great idea. We'll start integrating the charity event with the broadcast as well. So we just a little further audience for the great causes that these drivers are choosing to race for and hopefully earn a little money for. On behalf of Jack Moffat right now. Nobody else has yet stepped up, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Folks that are listening, want to donate directly to any of the charities that are being supported. They don't. That I think would also be.
And that's the important thing. Yep. Absolutely. So we'll get that information out to folks, and once again, looking forward. It was a fun race. It was kind of almost exactly what we expected. I was expecting a little bit more of the front pack to stay together, but at the same time, I can't expect that, and people not. I was also expecting people to get into each other. So those things are kind of mutually exclusive to some extent. So there you go. But man. Well, any last thoughts for the race as we head into week 2 of the 4th season of Sunday Night Skippy?
No. think that it was a great race. I think that it was a lot of fun to watch and great fun to broadcast. I'm very happy that we got the chance to do that. And I really do think that if the rest of the races this season go as well as that one did, then we're going to have a tremendous season. We really are.
Yep. Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in, or anybody who's watching later. Appreciate it, and shoot, this is it. We're trying to add some fun new things this season as time permits. Things are, as the summer winds down, hopefully we get a little more free time to add some cool things to the broadcast and bring in some new ideas. But yeah, season 4 is, I think, going to be our best one yet. Not just the broadcast, but the league itself. And we got the other events coming in. So this is really blowing up, man. I'm really excited for this. It's going to be a little light going into the winter, at least for us northern hemisphere folks. I do apologize to the Aussie. I keep saying winter. We do have some Australian drivers. No offense intended.
You could say winter season, maybe. I don't know.
The season. That's right.
Yeah. So the season of or I don't know. I mean, because for them it's the summer season, right? It's not the winter season.
Yeah, they got plenty of light. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna say goodnight and wish everybody the best for this week. And we look forward to chatting with you and talking with you next Sunday, same bad time, same bad channel. And we'll be between two lakes.
Indeed, we will.
All right.
All right. So it's good night from me.
It's a good night for me.
Good night.